Hello everyone, I am Samaira. I was amongst the youngest pilots in our country. And why this moment is meaningful for me is because it's my instructors who have been on platforms like TEDx, not once, not twice. He has been on a stage proper 6 times, and that has set a standard that is very high for me. And yeah, but I stand here to show you a glimpse of growth as it is happening and as every day adds a new page to the story. So, I am a freshly licensed CPL holder and I'm just at the beginning of my career. I have a long way ahead of me. And let's picture a pilot, not me, but let's just take a second, humor me. Picture Tom Cruise in his Ray-Bans, walking straight onto the aircraft and zoop, taking off. So, when you think of Tom Cruise, you're just thinking one person is behind the controls, but every pilot, even Tom Cruise, carries a whole crew of mentors behind them. And that's the same case with me. I achieved this feat at a very young age. It was not a sole achievement. It was possible because my instructors, my mentors, my parents, everyone supported me through every step of this journey. So, because literally my instructors handed me the keys to a plane when I did not even have a driver's license yet. So that's a big thing. You're trusting a student who's just out of school, and you're expecting them to learn flying, which is a complicated task. And yeah, there's no room for error when you're flying, and you have to teach them properly. So that's a big thing to do. Flying wasn't always smooth. I had some pretty rough sorties before my pre solo check, and I was nervous just like I was right now. I was nervous, doubting myself, and probably overthinking every little thing that was happening and why it was happening. But my instructor just told me one thing: breathe. You have prepared for this. I've taught you, just go do what I've taught you. And that's the exact thing I told myself the third time I'm on the stage now, that preparation matters more than panic. Thank you. That preparation matters more than panic. And it does not matter if you do it with nervous hands, shivering hands, but it just matters that you're doing it. And that's the thing she told me. And I wouldn't have taken off that day, literally and figuratively, just because of her. And this was about the flying part. And there were a lot of things that I had to learn even before I was behind the controls. So, one of my earliest mentors, who was also one of the reasons I first dreamed of flying, and who has been on TED multiple times, he was brutally honest. And maybe that's what I needed at that time. I was very shy, I was very introvert, and I was a 17-year-old. I was in a completely new place from a small town to being in Delhi. Ekdam se, it was a very big change for me. I was excited, I was curious, and I was a tad bit impatient to finish this ground part jaldi jaldi so that I could move to the actual flying part. And but I was also a bit of a overdoer. I used to study a lot. I mean, not in a healthy way. You can never be over prepared for anything, but I used to do it not in a healthy way. I used to end up to the point where I was dehydrated. My face would actually look pale because of all the studying, and that's one thing that my instructor pointed it out. I never told anyone that I was studying apart from what was being taught in the class. I used to always do it day in, day out till 12 at night, sometimes 3 in the morning. And that was a bit, I would be exaggerating if I said I was once in the hospital during my 12th boards, because this was one of my habits that I used to do. So he told me that being a pilot is not just about doing good with books, it's also about balance. Because as pilots, you're traveling to different time zones, different weather conditions, and all, and you need your body to be fit, and you cannot do that if you're just buried in your books. And that being a pilot is also about balance. And that was the honesty. This was just one of the things that he has pointed out. And he was so honest. He would not sugarcoat anything. Every time I slipped, he was there to say what I did wrong and how I could correct it. So that's the honesty that has still kept me grounded. Even after giving so many talks, it's very easy to be over proud of yourself. But then he is the reason that I am so grounded. And when the actual part came about flying, there was my CFI, Chief Flying Instructor, who took this honesty up a notch. And he told me that if I stayed disciplined, he would make sure that I finished strong. Of me and a few other cadets, because what he saw was consistency in us. By that time, I was not that over studying student. I used to have hobbies side by side, and it was a healthy balance between studying and the life away from flying. So he told me that if I stayed disciplined, emphasis on stayed disciplined, because that meant long monitoring hours, long schedules, no room for excuses. And yeah, we finished our flying in around 7.5 months, which was a pretty decent, which still is a pretty decent timeline in according to Indian flying schools. But because this was a very easy achievement to talk about, and I was very young, and on top of that, because this whole achievement was highlighted in media, people started questioning me that she might be very rich, that she had connections in her flying school for her flying to be done so fast. But it wasn't money, it wasn't shortcuts, because there were many people in my flying school who were more richer than I was, more resourceful than I was. And I cannot even say that it was because I loved flying. Many of my batchmates loved flying more than I did. And that's the thing, it was not any of these things. And it was just because I was one of those kids who would not give up, who was very consistent with uh, her studies. I was very decent flyer. I was a very decent student as well, who was not there were no big flying mishaps in flying schools because I was a decent one, and I cleared all my exams in first go. So there was nothing special about me that made this achievement to be highlighted, but it was just consistency. And yeah, I was putting in the work. There's a very funny way, but once I was at a cafe, I was scribbling my notes on a tissue paper. So I was writing what I could improve about my flying. It was I was facing the door, so there was no way I could have seen who was behind me. There was an instructor who was literally standing behind me and who was seeing what I was doing, because I was sitting alone writing on a tissue paper. It almost seems as if I'm writing a love letter to someone, but I was writing aerodynamics. And by the next day, everyone in the school knew that I was the girl who was writing aerodynamics in a fragile napkin. So, and everyone else around me was either on Instagram or doing something else. but I was just in the corner writing aerodynamics, and I did not have any idea that the instructor was right behind me. And some joked, some thought I was overdoing it again. But then, what my instructors noticed was consistency, and that I was putting in the work when no one was even watching me. And that's the thing, that's the reason they gave me a chance to fast track my flying, and I could finish my flying in a very fast pace and at a very young age. And then this was one of the many instances where my instructors have helped me. And that's why I say again that no pilot flies alone. uh, it's also because of mentors that we are achieving greatness in our careers, in our lives. And it was also my grit that I wanted to keep going, keep showing up, even when there were times when things were tough, when I had to prepare for a test which I could only give once I had turned 18. So I used to prepare for it alongside my flying. And there were times when I had to travel Pune and Delhi alone, uh, in 30 hours with no sleep for almost 48 hours. And nothing makes you question your life choices when you are sprinting through government offices just to fix a document. So that was not all glamorous. The whole training was not all that glamorous as it is shown, but it was also about that if you love what you're doing, in the end it is all going to be worth it. Because who would have thought that especially when I started out, that I could have reached a platform like this one, standing in a red dot and speaking to a crowd full of youngsters, full of dreams. That's a great thing, right? And that's the thing. And for you, what you can take away from this is that three things. One, seek mentorship. Ask for guidance from your teachers, from your parents, from your friends, your coaches, because sometimes it comes from very unexpected places. Because I have been a student in my 12th when I did not know what to do at some point. But my parents, especially my mom, she encouraged me that I pursue aviation. And one of my friends told me when I was thinking about what I should do, he told me how many parents tell their girl child, especially a girl child, to become a pilot, pursue aviation, and travel the world, see the whole world for yourself, not depend on anyone. So it comes from unexpected places. If it hadn't been for that one friend, I would have taken longer time to figure out what I actually wanted to do. Second, stay consistent. Whatever it is, whatever that you're doing, uh, make sure that you're putting in the effort. When, even if the world is not watching today, the world might not notice tomorrow, but eventually consistency adds up. And that is how you increase your luck surface area as well. Because once you achieve whatever you have put your mind to, and people call you lucky, but you will know that you have put in the work that was required to get to that point where you were called lucky. Third, be so good, like, make sure that you're proud of yourself, because you only get one life where you can achieve all your greatest, wildest dreams. You don't get another chance, especially when you're young. These teenage years, these 20 something years, these don't come again. And maybe your body might not support you to achieve your wildest dreams. Because I love horse riding. I am a professional. I have trained from a professional horse riding school. And if I thought that I would keep this hobby of mine for when I have done everything, like I have become a captain, commander, or anything, waited for 40, 50 years, it wouldn't have been possible because a few things you can only do when you're young. It can still be possible when you're old, but it will take a lot of effort for you to do it then than right now. So make sure you're proud of yourself. And I have to end this quote by saying that flying has taught me one thing, that even if you're the ones behind the controls, even if the wings are yours, the wind beneath them is the mentorship, is the support that your parents are providing you with. And that's why no pilot, no dreamer, no student ever flies alone. Thank you.